This is a special episode based on viewer comments. If you look back at previous videos, you'll see that viewers have written comments like, Xavier is a scam. They are a bunch of thieves. They stole thousands of dollars from me. Thank you for your comments. Keep those comments going because what you write inspires episode ideas. And now welcome to the student loan episode, where we look at how you can be financially exploited. And if you're a person who hates money, you are gonna love what we discover about how money can be wasted. Now, if you're a Canadian student, I recommend going back to episode 4 with our guest, who was a Canadian student, and he shared his experience with taking out Canadian loans. Spoiler alert, the cost of attendance at Xavier was so high that the Canadian student loans did not cover more than a semester. If you're a US student, like I was, I relied on the federal student loan program. In fact, I would not have a doctorate degree today if it wasn't for US federal student loans. Now, the American government will provide student loans to attend an international medical school. So you can go to this website and it provides a list of international medical schools that offer US federal student loans. And you'll notice that there is eligibility criteria. In order to get on this list, the school has to have high USMLE pass rates. They have to have low student debt. They also have to have high completion rates, among other criteria. Now, as we look at this list, we'll see that there are Caribbean medical schools. Whoops, there's European. There's even one in Israel. But what's not there? What's missing is Xavier University School of Medicine, Aruba. Why? That is a mystery. I would love to know the answer to that. What is Xavier failing to provide that these other schools do provide? And the bigger question I have, if the US government doesn't trust a Xavier education, why would I? Think about it. Now, I'm not endorsing any of the schools that are on this list. I don't know anything about them. But if you are interested in learning more, you can come to this website. I'll post the link in the comments. And you can click on the name of each school and it'll open up more detail about that school and their financial aid program. Now, Xavier does not qualify for federal student loans, which would be the most cost-effective option you have. But Xavier does have private student loans for US citizens. And if you want to hear all the propaganda about how the Xavier loans will make your dreams come true, then you can devote an hour of your life to a webinar on February 16th. In the meantime, let's just look at the Xavier website to learn about their student loan program. So it looks like you can borrow up to $350,000. And you may need that much to cover the cost of tuition and housing and books, etc. The interest rate is 7.75 to 9.25%. But there's a very concerning word here, variable. A variable interest rate is an interest rate that can change on you. It is not fixed or set at the numbers you see here. By the time you graduate and your loans kick in, it could be way higher than what you see here. So before you pursue the student loan program at Xavier, ask two questions. Number one, how often does the interest rate change? Like, for example, is it changing every year, every month? Like, how often? The other question is, how much can it change by? Like, is there a limit to how high the change can go? Okay. Now, it looks like when you're in residency, you do not have to make any payments. You probably have to fill out paperwork that's going to be really annoying every semester that you're in residency, but they will defer your payments. But I have a question. This is a question that you should ask. Are you required to make payments when you're on that year of LOA? LOA is the leave of absence year. We talked about this in season 2, episode 1. You have to pay $600 a month to study for your exams. And this could go on for about a year. Are those student loans in deferment during that year? Or are you required to make loan payments on top of the $600 a month? I would ask about that. Also, I did some math. If you borrow the maximum, the $350K, and let's say your interest rate is this 925, and this is hypothetical because it's variable. Who knows what it'll be when the time comes? What that means is $350,000 at 9.25%. That equals $32,375 of interest each year. Okay. Now, this $32,000 does not reduce the amount you owe. It's not going towards your principal. That $32,000 is only for interest. And if you want to break it down per month, you're looking at a monthly interest, only interest, of $2,698 a month. For $2,698 a month, I could buy a house, a really nice house. Now, something else that you might need to think about is that they may ask or require a co-signer. This would be like a parent or wealthier family member who will be responsible for your loan payment, that $2,698 a month of interest, if you default. Okay? So in other words, if you don't make it through the program, you don't become a doctor, if you can't pay, they're going to go after your parents. And your parents will then become responsible for all this money that you owe. So if we want to learn more, we can go to the MedInvest loan program website. And you'll notice that it has two names here. There's MedInvest and then there's Xuntify. I'm assuming that MedInvest is the actual lender that gives you the money. And then Xuntify is the servicer that's in charge of collecting the money. So I went on to Better Business Bureau to find out about Xuntify and their collection practices. So let's see, what kind of customer service will you get from Xuntify? So here's the most recent one from March, and it says, Xuntify is constantly calling me while at work. Almost every day, I have a phone call from someone in the office. Not real pleasant. And then we have our second one from last year. This company has negatively hit my credit report twice in a 2-week period. You cannot report to the credit bureau more than every 30 days. I am contacting legal. So this person is not happy. You can read some more about Xuntify, but I think you get the idea. Okay. Now, Having a $2,698 monthly interest payment sounds like a lot of money, but if you're a medical doctor and you're making six figures, that's nothing, right? But here's the problem. There's no guarantee you will become a medical doctor, especially when you go to a school that's not exactly up to par. This is the match rate for international medical graduates from 2021. If you attend an international medical school, there's a 50% match rate. Okay? So what that means is just a little over half of students from international medical schools will go on to residency. And you need to go on to residency to become a medical doctor making that six-figure salary. What happens to the other 43% that don't match? And how are they going to pay back all of these student loans? If you're curious, that 57% breaks down to 59.5% for US citizens who attend a foreign medical school, and it's about 55% for international students who attend international medical schools. So when you take out these loans, there's a huge risk that you may not be able to pay them back. And if you can't pay them back, they will be coming for your cosigner for $2,698 a month, approximately. So think about your risk. I personally would not take out $350,000 from a private lender and go to Las Vegas and gamble it away. That's essentially what you're doing if you go with this student loan program and you haven't asked the right questions.